At exactly 3 a.m., Noah Bennett's phone vibrated violently on the nightstand beside his bed. He woke instantly beneath darkness while rain hammered softly against the windows of his suburban house. For several confused seconds, he stared at the glowing screen without fully waking up. Then he saw the notification, "Front door motion detect." Noah groaned tiredly and rubbed his eyes. Probably another stray cat triggering the camera again. Ever since moving into his late mother's house 3 months ago, the old neighborhood security lights constantly activated for raccoons, branches, rain, anything. Noah reached for the phone and opened the live doorbell feed. The image froze him instantly. A woman stood motionless on the front porch, staring directly into the camera, pale face, wet gray coat. Long dark hair soaked by rain. Noah stopped breathing completely because he recognized her immediately. His mother, his dead mother. The phone nearly slipped from his hands. "No," he whispered weakly. The porch camera distorted slightly beneath static, while the woman continued standing perfectly still outside the front door. Rain passed through her strangely, somehow, almost like the image lagged behind reality itself. Noah sat upright slowly while panic crawled through his chest. His mother had died 11 months ago. Heart failure, sudden, final. He buried her himself less than 15 minutes from this very house. Yet there she stood outside his front door at 3 a.m. staring silently into the camera. Then the figure slowly smiled. Noah's blood turned to ice instantly. Something about the smile looked wrong. Too wide, too empty. His mother used to smile warmly with soft, tired eyes. This thing smiled like it had learned human expressions from photographs. Suddenly, the doorbell rang downstairs. Ding dong! Noah nearly screamed. Another notification appeared on the phone screen. Person detect. Then came knocking beneath the rain. Knock, knock, knock. Noah stared toward his dark bedroom doorway while his pulse hammered painfully inside his ears. Then his phone speaker crackled softly. The doorbell camera had activated two-way audio automatically. Through the speaker came his mother's voice. "Noah." Tears instantly filled his eyes because it sounded exactly like her. Same exhausted softness, same gentle tone. "Please let me inside." Noah backed away from the bed immediately. "This isn't real." The voice came again through the speaker. "I forgot my key." Noah covered his mouth, trembling uncontrollably, because that sentence hit him like a knife. His mother used to say that constantly whenever she returned home from gardening or grocery shopping. "I forgot my key." Another knock echoed downstairs louder this time. Bang! Then the front door handle slowly rattled beneath the storm outside. Noah remained frozen inside his bedroom while the rattling downstairs continued softly through the silence of the house. Rain hammered harder against the roof while thunder rolled somewhere beyond the neighborhood. His phone screen still displayed the porch camera feed. His mother continued standing motionless outside the front door, staring directly upward toward the camera lens. Then suddenly, the image glitched violently. Static flooded the screen for half a second. When the picture returned, the figure stood much closer to the camera now. Too close, her face nearly filled the entire screen. Noah gasped sharply. The skin looked pale gray beneath the porch light. Her eyes appeared completely black, not dark, empty, hollow. Then she whispered softly into the camera microphone. "You left me outside." Noah threw the blanket aside and stumbled backward away from the bed. "No!" The front door downstairs slammed violently beneath another impact. Bang! Noah jumped in terror. Then his phone buzzed again. Another motion alert. Back door motion detected. Noah stared at the notification in confusion. Slowly, he switched camera feeds. The image loading circle spun for several agonizing seconds before revealing the backyard porch behind the house. His mother stood there too. Same wet coat. Same hollow smile, same black eyes staring directly into the camera. Noah stopped breathing. That was impossible. The front camera still showed her standing outside the front door simultaneously. Both figures slowly lifted one hand toward the cameras at the exact same time. Then both smiled wider. Every light inside the house flickered instantly. Noah nearly collapsed from panic. Then came another notification. Holloway camera motion detect. Noah's blood froze solid. He didn't even remember installing an indoor hallway camera. Trembling violently, he opened the feed. Grainy black and white footage filled the screen. His downstairs hallway, empty at first. Then something slowly moved across the far end of the corridor. Noah's mother, walking inside the house. Wet footprints followed behind her across the hardwood floor while she moved unnaturally slowly toward the staircase. Noah backed away toward the bedroom corner while fighting tears. "Mom," he whispered weakly, despite knowing this couldn't possibly be her. The figure on the hallway camera stopped moving. Slowly, it lifted its head directly toward the camera lens. Then it smiled wider than humanly possible. The hallway lights downstairs exploded simultaneously into darkness. The camera feed cut dead. Silence swallowed the house. Then Noah heard footsteps downstairs beneath his bedroom. Slow, wet footsteps crossing the hallway floor. Then the staircase creaked softly. Something had started climbing toward him. Noah locked his bedroom door immediately while his hands shook uncontrollably. The wet footsteps continued slowly up the staircase outside. Step, creak, step, creak. Tears filled Noah's eyes because beneath the terror, part of him still desperately wanted this to be real somehow. He missed his mother every single day since her death. The loneliness inside the old house had nearly destroyed him during the past 3 months. Sometimes he still caught himself listening for her voice downstairs while making coffee in the mornings. Sometimes he still smelled her perfume in empty rooms late at night. But this thing downstairs wasn't her. It only sounded like her. The footsteps stopped directly outside his bedroom door. Silence followed for several seconds, then came soft knocking. Knock! 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 Noah? His mother's voice whispered gently through the wood. Noah covered his mouth while sobbing quietly. "Please open the door." Another pause followed, then her tone changed slightly. "Sadder now. It's cold out here." Noah stared toward the door, trembling violently. Then his phone buzzed again. Another camera alert. Noah frowned weakly through tears. Front porch motion detected. Confused, he slowly reopened the front door camera feed. His blood turned to ice instantly. His mother still stood outside the front porch, staring directly into the camera. Same position, same smile. Noah looked slowly back toward his locked bedroom door, while the knocking continued softly outside. Whatever stood in the hallway wasn't the same thing outside. Then another camera notification appeared. Backyard camera motion detected. Noah switched feeds again. His mother still stood in the backyard too, smiling at the camera. 3 copies now, one outside the front door, one outside the back door. One upstairs outside his bedroom. Noah's breathing became shallow and panicked. Then every camera feed on his phone suddenly split into multiple windows automatically. Front porch, backyard, hallway, kitchen, basement stairs, living room. Every camera showed his mother standing silently inside different parts of the house simultaneously. Some smiling, some staring blankly, some slowly walking closer toward cameras. One stood directly beneath Noah's bedroom floor, looking upward. Then all the figures across every camera feed spoke together simultaneously using his mother's voice. "You should have answered the door." Every light inside the house exploded instantly into darkness. Noah screamed, then something slammed hard against his bedroom door from the hallway outside. Bang! Another impact followed immediately. Bang! The wood cracked near the lock. Noah backed toward the bedroom window desperately, while the voices outside multiplied together. "You left us outside." Then suddenly his phone screen glitched violently. One final camera feed appeared. The cemetery security camera near his mother's grave. The grave stood open, empty. The bedroom door burst inward violently. Noah stumbled backwards, screaming while darkness flooded into the room from the hallway outside. For several terrifying seconds, he saw nothing at all beyond shifting shadows. Then one of the figures stepped slowly into the moonlight near the window. His mother, pale gray skin dripping with rainwater. Black hollow eyes staring toward him without blinking. "Why didn't you visit me?" It whispered softly. Noah backed into the corner beside the dresser, trembling uncontrollably. "You're not her." The figure tilted its head unnaturally sideways. Bones cracked softly beneath its neck. "But you wanted me to be." Tears streamed down Noah's face instantly because it was true. Part of him had wanted to believe. The thing smiled wider. Lonely people always open the door eventually. Then more footsteps echoed from the hallway. Additional figures entered the bedroom slowly from darkness. 5 copies now, all wearing his mother's face, all smiling identically. Noah grabbed the bedside lamp and hurled it desperately toward them. The lamp shattered against the nearest figure's head, but the creature didn't react at all. Instead, black liquid slowly leaked down its face while the smile remained frozen. "Mom never liked violence," one whispered softly. Another moved closer. "You didn't answer her calls near the end." Noah froze instantly. His mother had called him 6 times the night before she died. He never answered because they argued earlier that week. Guilt stabbed through him like a knife. The creatures stepped closer together, surrounding him slowly. "She died alone," another whispered, using her voice perfectly. Noah covered his ears, crying, "Stop." But the voices continued from every direction now. "You left her alone. She waited for you. She kept calling." Suddenly, Noah's phone rang loudly inside his pocket. Unknown number. Every creature froze instantly. Then all of them smiled wider simultaneously. "Answer it," they whispered together. Noah stared down at the glowing screen through tears. Then he noticed something horrifying. The caller ID displayed, "Mom." The creatures slowly stepped backward into shadows while watching silently. The phone continued ringing. Noah's breathing became shallow and broken. "Finally," he answered. Static crackled softly through the speaker first, then came his real mother's voice. Weak, terrified. "Noah, don't listen to them." Noah nearly collapsed hearing her voice, not the perfect imitation surrounding him in the room. This sounded different, softer, human, afraid. "Mom," he whispered weakly. The creatures around the bedroom hissed softly together at the sound of her real voice. Noah listened carefully. His mother whispered through heavy static. "They use grief to enter houses." Noah stared toward the smiling figures surrounding him. "What are they?" Silence crackled briefly through the speaker. Then she answered softly, "They're what waits outside when people die alone." The creatures moved closer again while black liquid dripped slowly from their mouths onto the carpet. "She's lying," one whispered gently. Another smiled wider. "We stayed with her after you didn't." Noah fought tears desperately. "Mom, I'm sorry." The real voice on the phone began crying softly. "I know." Then suddenly the line distorted violently beneath static. Another voice emerged beneath hers, deeper, hungrier. He already opened the door. Every creature in the room smiled instantly. Then all the lights outside the house switched on at once, illuminating the windows bright white. Noah looked toward the bedroom window in horror. Hundreds of figures stood silently across the yard beyond the glass. Every single one wore his mother's face, some standing upside down unnaturally, some missing eyes entirely. Some smiling with mouths split impossibly wide, all staring directly toward the house. The creatures inside the bedroom whispered together softly, "Family reunion." Then the phone speaker screamed violently loud enough to make Noah drop it onto the floor. Static exploded across the room. The creatures lunged toward him simultaneously. Noah ran blindly through the hallway while the copies chased behind him, laughing with his mother's voice. Wet footsteps echoed throughout the house from every direction. Camera notifications screamed continuously from his phone downstairs. Motion detected. Person detected. Window activity detected. Noah stumbled down the staircase, nearly falling, while shadows moved rapidly across walls around him. Then he saw the front door standing wide open at the bottom of the stairs. Rain blew inward through darkness beyond the porch. One creature stood waiting outside the doorway, smiling softly. "Come home," it whispered. Noah grabbed the fireplace poker beside the staircase and swung wildly at the nearest creature wearing his mother's face. The metal connected hard enough to crack its jaw sideways unnaturally, but the creature only laughed softly while black liquid spilled from its mouth. Noah ran toward the kitchen, desperately searching for another exit. Behind him, dozens of copies moved through the house now, some crawling across ceilings, others standing motionless in doorways, watching silently, all using his mother's voice to whisper memories only she would know. "Remember your 7th birthday? Remember the fishing trip? Remember ignoring my last voicemail?" The guilt nearly crushed him. Then Noah saw something on the kitchen counter beneath flickering lights. His mother's old rosary beads. He froze. He hadn't seen them since the funeral. Slowly, the phone on the floor beside them rang again. "Mom calling," Noah answered shakily. This time, his mother sounded stronger somehow. "Noah, listen to me." He fought tears desperately. "What do I do?" Silence crackled briefly. Then she whispered softly, "Stop inviting them inside." Noah frowned in confusion. Then realization hit him painfully. Every time he spoke to them, every time he answered, every time he believed they were really her, the creatures grew stronger. Around him, the copies slowly stopped moving, watching silently, waiting. One smiled softly. "Please don't leave us alone again." Noah closed his eyes tightly while tears streamed down his face. "You're not my mother." The creatures twitched violently together. Their smiles faltered slightly. Noah gripped the rosary tighter. "My mother loved me," the nearest creature hissed softly. Noah's voice grew stronger now. "And she wouldn't come back like this." Suddenly, the creatures screamed together violently. The entire house shook hard enough to crack windows. Outside, every figure in the yard began rushing toward the house simultaneously. Noah held the rosary against his chest while shouting through tears, "You are not her." Instantly, every light inside the house exploded blinding white. The screams became deafening. Then, silence. Noah woke the next morning lying unconscious on the kitchen floor beneath sunlight pouring softly through the windows. The house stood completely empty. No creatures, no black liquid, no open doors. Police later found Noah's security system recordings corrupted beyond recovery. Every camera feed between 3 a.m. and 4:13 a.m. contained only static and distorted audio. But investigators recovered one final image from the front porch camera before the files failed completely. A pale woman stood smiling directly into the camera beneath heavy rain. At first, they assumed it was Noah's deceased mother, until they noticed something horrifying. Behind her, standing silently across the dark front yard, were hundreds more identical women slowly smiling toward the house.